Thank you for letting me use your wall again. It's very, very kind of you. Don't worry, we'll give it back to you later. I know it's not nice having only 3 walls in a house, and you need this back, so we'll try to be quick. Hello, I'm Electric Richard, and this is about the new SimCity that's coming out very, very soon. Very excited about that. Now, back in 1989, there was a very popular video game released by a young man called Will Wright. That popular game was SimCity. It allowed you to be a mayor slash god of a city, and choose how the whole thing ran, from industrial estates to residential to shopping, the works. It was a lot of fun and very addictive. And now, many, many years later, as is the tradition with old things, there is a remake coming out pretty soon, at the beginning of March, and that remake is called, it's called SimCity. But this new one is actually very interesting. I'm quite interested in this. It seems to be quite an innovative leap in the whole SimCity thing, in that it's taken all the elements from old SimCity games and squeezed them into one. It's kind of like a best of, if you will. It's taken the simplicity of the original 1989 release, quite nice. And it's taken the analytical detail of SimCity 3000 and managed to squeeze that in, all without making it that complicated, which is quite nice. I think all in all quite good. There was also SimCity 4, which was kind of like a 3D sort of thing, but we don't really talk about SimCity 4 because it wasn't SimCity 4000, so you see how they failed there. Weirdly though, it's completely ignored the 1991 hit SimAnt, which was a real game by Maxim, created by Will Wright. Yeah, look it up. Now, of course, gaming mastermind Will Wright is probably has a 0% involvement in this new SimCity. I would imagine that he'll still get a large chunk of the royalties though, what with him having created the original. But it's fair to say that the only thing that really stands from the original SimCity is the name Maxim, which was the name of the development studio of the original one. Whether the same team, the same people work for today's Maxim as they did back in the past, well, I can probably say no to that, although EA have assured fans that there are some people from the original SimCities along the way. They didn't say which one specifically, but those people are now working on, or have been working on, the new SimCity. So there is an education there. There is wisdom and evolution in this new SimCity, and that's important. Maxim, of course, the only games company to be mentioned in top 90s television show The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. How'd it go again? Chilling out, relaxing, Maxim, all cool. So why am I so excited? Well, why am I so excited? Because I love a good God Sim, I do. I like the detail, I like the all-controllingness of it, because I had no control in my life, so I like to expunge it onto PCs and video games. And because of all that, because of the history of SimCity, I think that this new one is going to be the dog's bollocks. Can I say that? I can't say that. In this new SimCity, you can turn your city into something with a very specific theme, like perhaps your city is going to specialise in education or industry or gambling or tourism, perhaps. There's also an interesting multiplayer mode that's coming out for the first time in a SimCity game. So perhaps you and your chums could go online and compare cities, and then one can steal the other one's resources and then stick the finger up to them at the best possible moment. And I think that's the essence of good video gaming with your friends there, I think. Sticking it to the other person, so SimCity is bringing that in. From the gameplay videos, which is littering YouTube, there are quite a few, go have a look. It's very clear that this new SimCity has taken a lot of leeway from The Sims, which of course is the spin-off from SimCity. If you are familiar with The Sims, you should know that the point of that game is to involve yourself in the life of these random people and tell them how to think, how to eat, where to sleep, what jobs they should do, how to be happy, how not to be happy, and really kind of dictate their life like some sort of god. With SimCity, it's a much larger, broader experience. So you control the entire city as mayor, as they say. Really, it's not mayor. I say you're more of a god than a mayor. Certainly, if any mayor that we knew of had that kind of ability, we'd be scared of them, I think, rather than just in awe of them, which is there's a big difference there. SimCity 4, which had integration with The Sims 2, very basic, of course, nothing major. There's no way that The Sims would really work in a massive SimCity because the detail of involvement is very different. In The Sims, you are literally looking after one person or a bunch of individuals. in SimCity, it's about how a group, a collective work together and how you can change elements of their infrastructure and their overall resources rather than how an individual person deals with the resources. Although it would be an interesting game if SimCity 2, which is a sequel to this SimCity, okay, the next SimCity, is actually just a population of the Sims. Everyone gets a Sim character and they have to live in this giant city and then work on it that way. And so there's no real rules about turning it into an education town or an industrial town or a tourism town. You just go with it, you just live in it and off you go. And then they can take that idea and put it into the real world rather than having to play any game. Come to think of it, that's just life. I think that's just life. Luckily in SimCity, it's not life, and you can kill people with things like UFO invasions if you want to start all over again by scrapping your entire town. You get to affect things like sewage, water pumping, education, infrastructure, how people drive to work, what shops to go by. And then, like with any God Sim, the elements you can buy, the shops you can buy, and the buildings you can buy get bigger and better the richer your city gets. And undoubtedly, knowing Electronic Arts and the whole Sims franchise, there's going to be various updates and expansion packs along the way, which will cost your real hard-earned life money to make the game a little more interesting and fun after you've basically built everything the game has to offer within about 2 months. It is looking very similar to things like Settlers, which I'm a big fan of, and other God Sim games, but perhaps because things have gone full circle, as with other games which are being rehashed at the moment, like Elite and Tomb Raider. There's been games since the originals that have been very, very influential and now have in turn influenced the remake. So SimCity seems to be falling into that trap, which is no bad thing because this is the original Daddy Sim. And certainly the user interface looks incredibly simple, being able to just sweep your mouse along and say that this area is for residential, get building, and they get building. And little animations, again, very similar to Settlers. Oddly though, Electronic Arts are quite keen to point out that the game has already won 26 awards and it's not out yet. What that basically says is that the gaming industry can be bought. So, yeah, games journalism, handing out awards for games that don't exist yet. We can't buy yet. Talking of expansion packs, there's already a few announced. There's a Britain expansion pack, a Germany one and a France one, and presume, and judging by the screenshots, you get to put in things like Big Ben and the Eiffel Tower and other landmarks which I'm naming incorrectly into your cities. I guess these are more for the Americans who don't really, these things are kind of weird for them. So let's put in a big palace, that's where a queen lives, that's odd. But there's also a Hero and Villains expansion pack, which if you order on Amazon.co.uk, that's the one you get. The Heroes and Villains, where you get like a secret base for your villains to thrive in and plot in, and then I guess you can create a superhero too who can look after the place. I don't know. It'd be cool if you could create a city which then became a GTA city. Wouldn't that be cool? What might be cooler, of course, are the people at Rockstar talking to the people at Electronic Arts and making it happen. That would be a bit like Nintendo and Sony going, yep, let's make a console together here in 2013. Let's just scrap our ideas for our next consoles and make one together. In fact, let's get Xbox in there too. All of us make one console for everybody. It shall be a great and peaceful time. And there we have it. That's new upcoming SimCity. It's out on March, I think 5th for PC and Mac. Is it Mac people playing video games? Whatever next. I have been and always shall be Electric Richard. Please subscribe to the channel. We all appreciate that. Leave some comments down there and give me a tweet because I get lonely and you're still not really tweeting me very much, so please make an effort. It does help. These long winter nights go by even before SimCity comes out. Because once SimCity comes out, I won't be reading the tweets. Bye!